Hey guys, and welcome to the Canadian Grand Prix. This is round 7 of the Bwoah Racing League, if I remember, or maybe I'm wrong with that. But going into this race, I was pretty confident. I think qualifying pace was pretty good, but I was not very happy with the race timings, with the race pace of ours. A 10.7, matching almost accelerated KDB there. So the qualifying pace is definitely there, but the race is another deal altogether. And already we can see we have made a massive mistake going into this race. We don't have medium tires. Really unfortunate. And I don't think it was, I don't get to select the tires pretty much. I joined in a bit late due to work, and then the game just selected it for me. And yeah, we don't have any medium tires, so our strategy is kind of screwed up, isn't it? So let's see how this goes. 5 lights, and we have got an incredible freaking start. We are gone. Oh man. Going into turn 1, just went a bit defensive so that no one slots down the inside there, and we are gone pretty much. Just hoping to pull away from everyone now. This track was pretty difficult for me in terms of track limits, because especially turn 3, turn 4, I was getting it wrong like all the time. And even in the race, you could see that I never got it completely right. Another reason why I was worried about the race pace was because of the fuel and ERS, because depending on the nature of this track, it was actually pretty difficult to change it at the right time. So every time I wanted to switch it off or switch it on, I would be steering, and then I couldn't use my left hand to change it, so it was a bit tricky that way. I do have a solution for that. I think I need to switch to an Xbox controller, and then I can do it really well. So going a bit defensive now into lap 2, we're not really pulled away from both of them. I think they're getting settled into the race now, but Accelerate is definitely putting a bit of pressure. That's why I'm going a bit defensive here. That's usually how I decide if I am going to do it. Just a small peek behind, or just using the mirrors, and then that's when I decide. Again, he's putting a bit of pressure here as well, so I go defensive here. And what I was aiming for mainly was to get a good exit out of this corner here. I think this is turn 10. If you get a really good exit and just slam the throttle at the right time, and then I think you can defend well using that. And now KDB is applying the pressure on Accelerate, and he's got the move done. So let me take your lap of Canada. So going into turn 1, you brake just around the transition portion between the grass and the cement air. Keep it tight, nice and tight into this corner, turn 2, and then accelerate out, brake at around 75 meters or so. That's the way you want to clip those curbs. That's absolutely perfect. Again, sticking tight to this side, just after the 100-meter board. Usually you want to use 4th gear here, but I get a very bad exit here, and then KDB, I think, is definitely going to make the overtake here into this corner, and he does. I don't think I could have defended this, but I just let him go. I want to slot behind him and keep going. What were my expectations going into this race? Well, I think given the qualifying times, top 3 would have definitely been possible. I think me, KDP and Accelerate were pretty close. But as the race will pan out, you will see why that doesn't happen. Again, this is a very good example of how being unable to change the fuel and ERS at the right time is costing me a bit. I want to change it back here, but then it's a bit hard to do that, because again I have to switch it off at the next corner. So we got the gap closed down to KDB a lot, but then because we switched back to lean and 0 ERS, we lost the gap there. Yeah, so switching to lap 8, we are pretty much level with KDB and Accelerate. The gap stayed constant, and I think we are coming in this lap. So you can see the gap here. It's not too much, but then as you will see on the pit exit, something does happen. Not really sure what, but he gets an insane start, and then that 2-second lead is something that he maintains throughout, or even increases. And pretty much KDB is gone right now, so I've slotted into P2, hoping to maintain this position. Switching forward to lap 12, and we can already see I am struggling with the track penalties, and that exit I think was giving us slight amount of wing damage, which was making us a bit slow. I think Accelerate definitely noticed that. I don't think I noticed that during the race, but I think Accelerate did notice that I was a bit slower on the straight, few kmph slower in the top speed part. The gap between KDB and me has increased a lot. It's now 2.67 seconds. And then lap 12 to 16 there was not much, but I think Accelerate did close us down during that period. And then this corner I always get a bad exit, and then now we're fighting for the move. Brake at pretty much the exact same point, but Accelerate does not give us any room, so we have to go to the exit. And we've lost that position, but not too bad at the end of the day. I think it could have ended worse if I tried to really force myself down that corner, but it was alright. Now just about thinking about what my next move is, because I'll tell you guys, once I realized that I didn't have any mediums, I was pretty much mentally I was gone. Like, I was really overthinking about what should I do with the tires, and you can constantly see like I'm still deciding on what to do, and we have a disconnect. The old disconnect. So pretty much the whole race I think I was really completely occupied with what do I do with the strategy. Looking back at it now, I think I should have done the soft, medium, soft, maybe extended all the stints on all the tires. Could have done that and lost less time as opposed to doing just swapping the medium for the hard, because that did cost us in terms of pace, because the hards can last a lot of time, but absolutely no pace there. And we have got this really silly penalty as well. I think thankfully this too was removed there. So we are still behind Accelerate, but we have lost a lot of time as my bot was driving, and now Vignesh is going to be applying the pressure on us in a couple of laps, I think. Moving on to lap 21, and the gap is now down to 7 seconds, 8 seconds almost between me and Accelerate, while Vignesh is closing me down. And it's pretty much, I was just really occupied with not having mediums. I think that was eating up my mind a lot. So I was like, oh, my race is done, I can't do anything. So I go in now just a bit earlier so that I could put on the hard tires. But I knew that this was going to be a tough battle now, because I don't think I would have got maybe third or fourth, but nothing more. No, I don't think I would have fought for the win. Moving on to lap 26, and you can see that the gap has gone down to almost a second between me and Vignesh, and again we are struggling with track limits there. Usually I want to keep it clean. I mean, we kept it clean at Monaco, so why am I struggling here? No idea. Again, I think this is the lap where Vignesh makes the move at this corner, because again I'm getting a bad exit out of that corner. But I think I let him go, because pretty much mentally I was like, I've done, like I can't do anything to defend myself, so I was not in the right place there. So I was thinking how to minimize my losses. So sticking behind Vignesh was one way to do that, but maybe in hindsight I should have defended that position. Something interesting to note here is Cygnus Raghavan driving the AI. I think he told us post-race that he got a call or something, but I'm sure this would have been pretty distracting for Vignesh and even for me, like just looking at that car, because it was definitely a bit distracting. And as you can see, Vignesh clipping the wall there, not ideal. I think because of that we also make a mistake into, I think this is turn 4 or turn 5. We go very wide. I've always had an issue with that corner. Again, I knew Ashwin is behind me, so I took a narrow line so that I don't block him. So we are losing a lot of positions. We are in P5 now. Pretty much mentally, with all the track limits and the medium tires and everything, I think that definitely shook me up a bit. I didn't react positively during the race. I think that's the value a race engineer could provide in those instances. But I'm working forward to a career as a race engineer or in motorsports, so the mental part of all of this is a good exercise for me, so that I can improve my own skills, to be calm in certain instances, take the right decision at the right time is really important for me to learn those abilities. And the only way you can learn that is by having races like these where things don't go your way. We're going to see a very weird incident here between Vignesh and Ashwin. I don't know if he was letting him by and then they crashed. Ashwin literally sends Vignesh into the wall. That could have ended really badly for both of them. And here I'm just trying to keep Vignesh in my rear quarter so I can slide down the inside here. And that we do, but since he's on the outside, he's getting a better exit. A little bit of argy-bargy there, but nothing too bad. And this is another race-defining moment for us. I've got the run on him, and you can see going to the braking zone. I'm pretty much ahead at this point, but I tried to make him go narrow so he could quit, but he doesn't. Make him spin out. Really unfortunate, and I have to wait for him as well. This is where I was getting really confused, because I could see 2 cars passing by, I could see another 2 cars passing by. I did not see Vignesh passing by, and I was still waiting. I was thinking, is he behind, is he in front of me? So that's why I completely parked the car there. Yeah, and we have lost more positions now. 7th place. I was telling my teammate Vineet as well that it's pretty bad at this point, the way things are going, but he reassured me, there's still a lot to play for, so just keep going. So now we move on to the last lap, because there was pretty much nothing going on at that point. I was just trying to keep Setu behind, and the gap to Setu is less than 4/10, but for the most part I think I've got him covered. I think the only areas where he was a bit stronger was in usually sector 1, sector 2, but then I was getting a better exit on all the corners leading onto the high-speed straight, so I covered there for the most part. What we are unsure of at this point is the number of track penalties. I think I have 9 with that unnecessary 3 seconds as well when I rejoined, so around 6 seconds, and I think Setu also has around 9 seconds. KDB, man. Yeah, congrats to him, but for me, really bittersweet, isn't it? Because we were fighting in the front alongside him and accelerate. Really missed out on our chances there. So yeah, we have to lick our wounds and hopefully to put on a better show in France. We come across the line, and where do we end up? P5. Interesting. So I think we'll have to look at the final result sheet and see how did we get up into P5, because I was very sure I was going to end up outside the top 10 with the number of penalties I had, but you can see, I think Vignesh, UK and Mr. Vex, I think, did cross me, almost 3 cars, but yeah, I think some of them did have track penalties, so I was able to go ahead of them in the final result. Overall, looking at it, well, I think I really need to improve on this track. I think this is another, not necessarily a weak track, but definitely didn't do really well in the race. Qualifying pace was definitely there, really good pace, but race trim, I need to figure out how I'm going to change the fuel and ERS modes at the right time. Because if I leave it to it, if I only focus on the driving, I think I can really put in good lap times, but we need to adjust the fuel and ERS as well. It's a really important part of the game. And you can see, I think, the number of penalties for everyone, so that sort of nullified the people who went in front of us. Congrats to the 3 winners up front. Great drive from both KDB and Accelerate. Really wish I could have been there till the end, but yeah, it is what it is. Still a top 5. We haven't finished outside the top 5 in the whole of BRL season 3. So let's hope to keep doing that till the end of our season. Anyways, guys, I hope you liked this presentation. I made it a bit shorter so that we could cover the key moments. If you liked the video, please like it. If you didn't, dislike it. Not a problem. Subscribe for more, and I will see you in the next video.